The diplomatic chamber aboard the Aurelia, the flagship of the interstellar Concorde, was silent but for the low hum of the ship's energy core. Representatives of countless species had gathered to witness the negotiations between the humans and the Ilari, a race known for their telepathic prowess and meticulous caution. Among the crowd, Commander Elias Drake of the Terran Space Command waited patiently, his uniform crisp, his posture a careful balance of authority and humility. Across from him, standing on an elevated platform that accentuated her willowy frame, was High Envoy Seralia of the Ilari. Her luminous skin shimmered with shifting hues of sapphire and emerald, reflecting the soft lighting of the chamber. Her eyes, vertically slitted, glowing faintly with inner luminescence, studied the humans with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. Every motion she made exuded elegance and control, as if the slightest misstep might betray her intentions. The negotiations had been tense from the beginning. The Ilari were renowned for their scientific advancements, but notoriously resistant to sharing knowledge, especially with species they deemed unpredictable. Humanity's reputation as a young but fiercely innovative race had sparked both interest and skepticism. Drake had spent months preparing for this moment, poring over every known cultural nuance of the Ilari, crafting a strategy that combined diplomacy, respect, and a subtle demonstration of humanity's capabilities. High Envoy Seralia, Drake began, his voice steady. I understand the concerns your people have regarding the quantum integration protocol. But I assure you, humanity's intentions are not conquest. We seek collaboration, knowledge exchange, and mutual growth. In exchange, we offer access to Terran research in gravitic manipulation, a technology your scientists have only theorized. Seralia tilted her head slightly, a gesture that conveyed both skepticism and intrigue. Humans, she replied, her voice resonating directly in the minds of everyone present. Your species has a reputation for audacity. You claim to offer knowledge, yet you have barely begun to understand the delicate balance of the multivariate fields you seek to manipulate. Why should we risk our advancements for your inexperience? Drake took a deep breath, aware that every word he spoke was being weighed and measured. Because, High Envoy, humans are not merely experimental. We are adaptable, persistent, and driven by curiosity. What we lack in history, we compensate for in ingenuity and determination. We've survived catastrophes that would have ended other civilizations. We've reached the stars not because we were the strongest, but because we dared to try when others feared to act. A faint ripple passed through the audience, a subtle acknowledgement of the human's words. The Ilari had long valued proof over promises, and the Terran delegation had brought exactly that. Several demonstrations of experimental technology, carefully calibrated to showcase both their capability and restraint. Seralia's gaze lingered on Drake, piercing as if she could peer into his very thoughts. Then, for the first time, she smiled, not a full smile, but a slight upturn of her lips that hinted at amusement or perhaps approval. You humans are persistent indeed, she said. Persistence is commendable. Yet, persistence alone does not earn trust. How do I know that your offer is genuine, that your species can honor such an alliance without faltering? Drake stepped forward, his voice firm yet warm. High Envoy, the proof is not just in words. It is in action. Allow me to demonstrate. We have prepared a quantum field simulator aboard our shuttle. It will model the integration process without risk to your systems. If our calculations are correct, it will stabilize the field for observation in real time. The chamber's lights dimmed as technicians and scientists prepared the simulator. Holographic projections flickered into existence, mapping the complex web of quantum interactions that humans claimed they could harmonize. Seralia circled the display, her fingers tracing invisible lines in the air, reading the patterns with her telepathic senses. The projection pulsed and shimmered, responding to the human calculations, folding into configurations that seemed impossibly delicate yet stable. For several moments, silence reigned. Then, Seralia paused. The audience noticed her inhale, a subtle gesture rarely displayed in formal settings. Drake's pulse quickened, not out of fear, but anticipation. He had trained for diplomacy, for strategy, for negotiation, but moments like these required something more. Connection. Finally, Seralia turned her gaze toward him. "Your calculations are accurate," she said, her tone a mixture of awe and disbelief. "Your species has a grasp of multivariate interactions that even our scholars have not achieved. This is impressive." Drake bowed slightly, careful not to overstep cultural boundaries. "It is the beginning, High Envoy. Humanity does not claim perfection, only the drive to learn and collaborate." The chamber waited, holding its collective breath. Then, slowly, Seralia straightened and let her aura shimmer, a subtle but unmistakable sign of her approval. "Humans are unpredictable," she murmured. "Yet in unpredictability, there is creativity. In audacity, there is potential. I see now that your offer is not born of recklessness, but of understanding. You are worthy." A soft murmur of astonishment passed through the attendees. To receive the Ilari's word of validation was rare, almost legendary. Then, in a moment that would be remembered in interstellar history, Seralia smiled fully, a radiant expression that seemed to illuminate the chamber. She extended her hand, her long fingers trembling slightly with the weight of decision and the rare warmth of trust. "Commander Elias Drake," she said, her voice carrying across species barriers, "I accept your offer. Let this be the beginning of a partnership that bridges worlds, not just stars." Drake stepped forward, careful and deliberate, and shook her hand. The gesture was simple, yet it symbolized more than just a contract. It was a covenant between two civilizations, one that would redefine their place in the galaxy. The Terran delegation erupted in quiet applause, restrained by the decorum of the chamber, but no less thrilled. In the weeks that followed, human and Ilari scientists worked side by side, learning from one another, sharing knowledge, and solving problems that neither species could have tackled alone. Drake and Seralia often met outside formal sessions, exchanging ideas, strategies, and even stories of their home worlds. Respect deepened into camaraderie, and camaraderie into a genuine friendship, an unexpected outcome in the calculated realm of interstellar politics. Years later, when the first joint Ilari-Terran research station launched in orbit around a distant star, Seralia would recall the moment she paused, smiled, and accepted the human's offer. It was a moment that had changed the course of history, proving that courage, humility, and the willingness to reach across boundaries could unite not just species, but entire galaxies. And in that pause, in that smile, humanity found not only an ally, but recognition, a validation of their indomitable spirit, a testament that even in a universe vast and uncertain, a human's offer, made with sincerity, courage, and intellect, could be enough to bridge worlds.